Cheers, everybody. Welcome back to another beer review. And we have got, not my favourite style of beer, but we're going to give it a... we got a coffee stout. And it's brewed at Wensleydale Brewery. And they've done a collab with Rounton Coffee Roasters, which I have done a beer involving them before. I think it was a bayonet beer. And we have got a can of their Espress Yourself. 4.8% ABV. There you go. Cracking brewery, Wensleydale. So I've got high hopes for this. Why I'm not a fan of coffee stouts, it's just a personal preference for me. With a lot of them, you do get a lot of bitterness from the hops and a lot of bitterness from the coffee, and you collide them together. For me, it's sometimes a little bit too overtly bitter for the likes of me. But it feels like it's a fad as well. It feels like that everybody's doing them at the moment. And in the beer world, it reminds me when people started to first do the New England IPAs, there was a plethora of them over the supermarkets. And it feels to me slightly like that with the coffee stout. But I've only had a handful of them, which I've really enjoyed. So let's give this one a go. We've teamed up with the brilliant guys at Rounton Coffee Roasters to create the delicious stout. Their Brazil blend is full of chocolate, toffee and walnut flavours. We've combined this with our malts selected specifically for the low bitterness. We'll soon find out about that. And the coffee aromas, and finish off with lactose for the added smooth mouthfeel. So we've got lactose in, so you could have a sweet edge to this, which I might like actually. Express yourself. Espresso is a bitter, dark coffee. So let's get a whiff. You get coffee bean, and you get chocolate too. At the moment, it smells okay. It smells, for me, it smells okay. But when you review beer, you gotta sometimes put your personal preferences aside, because you're reviewing a beer. You got to, appreciate if it's done well, and they've, set out to achieve, what they wanted to achieve in regards to it, as opposed to your own personal preference. So whenever I do a style which I'm not particularly a fan of, I still have to, for me, I still have to look at the positives and look at, well, yeah, it's not my favourite style of beer, but has the brewery achieved what they wanted to achieve with this beer in terms of taste, in terms of texture, in terms of quality, in terms of price as well. So it's not really a personal thing for me. It's more about, you got your set goal brewing a beer. Have you achieved that set goal? Have you ticked? Are you satisfied as a brewer, as a brewery, that this beer hits the mark? That is the angle I come from when I review beers. I'm not too keen on. So see the light through that thinning head. Let's get a whiff. You can pick up the slight hoppy grassiness behind this chocolate and a hint of toffee. It smells pretty good, to be honest. It smells authentic, authentic. You don't want any syntheticness in this. You do get stuff which does smell synthetic flavours, which don't really belong there. But that smells okay. Gonna go in. Cheers. I'm thinking, drinking this, again, Does the lactose need to be there? That's what I'm thinking. Drinking this beer, does that lactose need to be in that? Because it's not that bitter. You get hints of chocolate. There's a sweet edge on this, and I think it's the lactose. But it doesn't. This sweetness doesn't contribute to the overall feel of the beer for me. It doesn't feel. I was expecting it to be more bitter, more coffee bitterness on this, more rugged. It does not feel rugged. It doesn't feel a bit rough, like coffee does. First thing in the morning after a night out, it's, the first coffee of the day feels rough as crap. You know what I mean? That is what I'm trying to. It feels like it's been a little bit safe in a way. What do I think of the beer? Well, we're going. Light mouthfeel. You pick up coffee, hit the chocolate, and you get this sweetness towards the back end, which I'm not really a fan of. So for me, I don't think it works that well. Because it's missing it's missing that bitterness for me. I mean, the coffee stouts for me is a wake up call. Wake up call. Coffee, bitter, caffeine, stouty elements, lactose. So for me, it's not really doing it. It's a shame. But, Wensleydale Brewery are fantastic brewers. It's very rare I come across a beer which I think misses the mark from them. I think this is the only one. I think this one misses the mark. I think it's got that sweetness in which it doesn't need. I think it should be more bitter, even though I'm not a fan of over bittered beers like coffee stouts. But for me, the lactose, if it is a lactose doing it, it's not really doing it. So boys and girls, I say to you, see it, pick it up, give it a go. It's not a terrible beer. I just think it's slightly missing the mark. Slightly missing the mark. Thank you very much for watching this one. Please subscribe, murder me in the comments. See you all again on another beer review. Bib bib.